Starting a new vegetable garden is exciting, but you probably have lots of questions. Well, spring is a great time to start one, especially a container garden. Today I'm with a neighbour to help her transform a corner of her garden and grow something fresh and tasty along the way. One of the things I really love about gardening is helping others start on their own home growing adventure. And in this video, I'll be covering everything needed to create a stunning and delicious container garden. So Sharon, it is an absolute pleasure to be here today. I know you're primed and ready to start your first veggie garden.
Honestly, I've been so looking forward to it.
Well, we're going to have a great day today. And what's tempted you to get started now? Why now?
This is primarily a flower garden, and I really feel like I want to sort of accomplish knowing how to grow vegetables, and the container aspect. I really love that idea of it very much.
And what do you want from the little space we're going to be arranging today?
Well, aesthetically, I want it to look fabulous. I love the idea of pots and what you can do with pots, but also the benefits of what you're growing.
Absolutely. I think that's a good point you make there, because vegetables can be very attractive. They don't have to be just utilitarian. And with beautiful pots, we can make a beautiful space for you. The other great thing about containers, of course, is you can change the potting mix to suit what you're growing, and you can move them around so the ugly things are hidden when they're over, and you bring the more attractive things to the front. So I think we've got lots of options, and I'm very excited with what we've got for you. Now, containers are great for patios and hard surfaces, and I know you've got somewhere in mind a bit like that. So should we go and take a look?
Yeah, come on.
Brilliant.
Here we are. What do you think?
Absolutely stunning. I love it. It's you've got such a beautiful flowery backdrop, and gets plenty of sun.
I was going to say it gets loads of light, just nice and flat. Close to the house.
Perfect, and that's important. That's a good point actually, because you want to be close to the house. So you're going to be more inclined to tend it, and of course you can admire all your hard work. So that's perfect.
Pretty backdrop.
That's great. And the good thing about the sunshine here, but if you were in a slightly shadier spot, one of the great things about containers is you can raise them up, or you can have taller pots to kind of raise them up into the light. So exactly, really great. I'm so excited to show you what we've got to plant today. So drum roll, please. So here we are, we've got all sorts of beautiful things here. It all looks a bit green, but you'll have some colour here too. So we've got some luscious salads here, and leafy greens from the spinach. We've got some beautiful herbs, some rosemary there. I've got some fruiting vegetables, so I've got a chili pepper plant and tomato. And of course, you can't not have strawberries, so we've got some of those as well. Always a joy. These are seed potatoes, so each one of these will produce anywhere from sort of 10 to 20 new spuds. And then we've got a few things to sow as well. So there's lots to do. Shall we get started? Brill. What we're going to be planting is what's called first early potatoes, or early season potatoes. What that means is they grow really, really fast. And just to prove that point, here's one I prepared earlier. Wow. This is about under a month ago I planted this, and you can see it's growing, and we're probably 6 weeks away from harvesting that. So you can see it's going to grow fast, and I like kind of things that give an instant impact. So now, the great joy of potatoes is they grow so fast. I like to recycle old potting mix and mix it with fresh, and that way keeps the costs down. So I'll start filling it up. Have a guess what this is.
Oh.
Chicken manure pellets.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's a little bit foul, pun intended, but what this will do is it will give our potatoes a good boost. So I'm going to just add a couple of handfuls in that as we go, and that'll kind of keep things, give it the energy and boost it needs. So we're going to fill it about a third up, and then I'll get you to pop the potatoes in.
Okey-dokey.
Getting some fresh potting mix here. For the benefit of our British viewers, by the way, when I say potting mix, I mean compost, multi-purpose compost. And give that a little mix. And you see we filled it about a third full there. Right, so now we're ready for our spuds. So we're going to put 2 in first. So there we go.
Which way up?
That's a good question. Have the shoots facing up, because these are going to be the stems. So that's and you put it just about a couple of inches from the side. Perfect.
Right. So that's
and the next one just opposite it on the other side.
And the spacing between them?
Perfect. Absolutely spot on. Excellent. they're in now. So I'm just going to cover them over, and I can fill them straight to the top, actually. This is the great thing about potatoes. You'd think they're like way down there and they're sort of buried alive, but they'll come all the way up and right to the surface, and that's the great thing. So I'm just adding...
Coming right to the top.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, that's it. That's the joy of it. So I'll just... there we go. Now I know, Sharon, you wanted it to look good as well as be productive, so I'm not going to leave it with this black plastic. We've got this burlap sacking or hessian here.
Yeah.
And the trick is I'm going to just kind of tie it around, and that will look a lot better. If you just hold it there for me.
Of course.
And we'll do a sort of layer of string at the top and a layer at the bottom.
This is really ingenious, Ben.
Yeah, well, it's not all me. It's sort of Pinterest and Instagram and ideas like that, if I'm honest. But, you know, it's kind of, it just goes to show that containers don't have to be just kind of productive and utilitarian. They can look the business too.
It really makes a difference, actually.
Doesn't it? Yeah, thank you, yeah.
So nice.
Right, I think we're done with that now.
So Ben, how do I look after us?
Very good question. That's a good question. You need to know these things. So potatoes have lots of lush foliage, and they've got to swell big tubers. They need regular watering to keep the potting mix here nice and moist. The pots being black can heat up, so this sacking here actually will help shade the pot from it getting too hot. But if it's really, really warm, then you can just move it to a slightly shadier position. Yeah. And finally, I'd say adding a little mulch of grass clippings. So you get dried grass clippings from your mowings and just lay that over the surface, and that will help to lock in the moisture and makes it a bit easier, keeps it going. So that's done. On to our next one, I think. We've got this table, Sharon, because I don't know about you, saves the old backer, so...
well, and my knees.
And your knees, right, and that's actually...
Dare I say it?
Dare I say it? No, I mean, that's the same here, and actually, that's the great thing about containers, it does raise things up a bit, which is an important consideration. Yeah. So we've got herbs next, and I'm really excited. We've got these beautiful baskets here, but we're going to line them with this permeable weed fabric. And that means, it's kind of like, it's all, what that will do is it stops the potting mix escaping out of the holes here, like a sieve, so that makes sense. So we've got leafy herbs in this one here. Yeah. I've got some cilantro or coriander. Ooh. Shown from seed shop.
My favourite.
Oh, so good in like curries and... Anyway, use it before we got started. This is a lovely chocolate mint with these beautiful kind of like beautiful stems. This will eventually take over, but it'll be fine for our first season. You can pot it on later on.
For the first grow.
Flat leaf parsley and some chervil. And then for this taller pot here, I thought what better than the absolute king of Mediterranean herbs, rosemary. Yeah. Perfect with roasts and all sorts. So I think there's a nice little mix here. Right, so the first job is we're going to line the baskets and get them filled. So if you just sort of press that into the corners and I'll get our potting mix.
I love the originality again of using baskets and other containers.
It's a bit different, and that's what I love about container gardening is you can use just about any container you see. So you can repurpose. I've seen old bread baskets, probably seen those Wellington boots.
Old baths, do you remember old baths?
Yeah, exactly, those old tin bars, sinks, exactly, everything including the kitchen sink. Yeah, I love it. So,
and where can I buy this from?
So this is from our local garden centre. It's sold by the metre and you just cut it off. But if you look for weed membrane, if you're online, then you can just find it online and just get a little pack of it. But it's very versatile. Yep. You could try lining it with, if you're wanting to avoid plastics, you could try lining it with something else like more of that hessian or burlap sacking. I know lots of people are keen to avoid plastic. Right, so we're going to make a little montage. We'll start with the mint in that corner and then we'll put the others in front. So.
Do you lay them out first or do you just go for it?
I do, yeah, you've done this before, haven't you? Yeah, absolutely. So we'll lay it out first. We'll get a little little montage of where we're going. So. That's perfect. We'll leave the labels, put the labels back in later. That's probably a bit that's going to grow quite tall, so I'll put that at the back.
Okay, so that's tall.
And then this is probably a little bit close to them here if they were going to stay in here indefinitely. Yeah. But I think, for the first season, you've got a lovely mix that way.
I mean, honest to gosh, these are going to be used and used and used.
Oh, good, I'm so pleased.
And also, not just with cooking, but I love them in salads and things like that.
Same here, definitely.
Things like that.
Get that punch of freshness.
Yeah.
There we go. Now, they all do look a bit similar, don't they? But I assure you they're different. Yeah. Right, so that's it. I think we need to zhuzh it up, but I think that actually is okay. So let's go ahead and just kind of fill them in with our mix.
So we've got 3/4. We're up to 3/4 for the basket.
That's right. Yeah, that's it. And you just need like 1/2 inch to a centimetre rim, and that means it holds the water, so you can get it in.
Okay,
so
great.
Let's delve in and we'll just kind of feed it around.
Okay. Do you want to? I'll spread
Yeah,
it
you
out.
feed round. I'll shovel on. Brilliant. There we go. Lovely job. Good job there, Sharon. If I give you the scissors, if you're happy just to cut the weed membrane so it just fits nicely, I'll get the next lot ready.
See, I'm learning something.
Yeah, oh bless you, thank you. We'll just push it down like that so it's not going to fall out and just tap. Yeah. Great, okay, cool. So now we've got our rosemary and slightly different setup for this one here.
Okay, so do we treat the rosemary differently?
Yeah, we do. So these are kind of really leafy herbs and they like it nice and moist and they can cope with dappled shade. Yep. As a sun lover, this grows naturally in really rocky, free draining soil.
We just think of it as the sort of sunshine, Mediterranean.
The sun goddess, exactly, yeah. So the way I'm going to help with that is we're going to just mix in, this is like really gritty kind of sand.
Okay.
And that will help sort of create a much more free draining mix, and that will really love that.
And what kind of sand is this?
This is just sort of coarse kind of sand. Yeah. It's you could use grit.
Okay,
Anything that it's kind of inert really. It's going to get its goodness from the potting mix. All this is doing is just making sure it drains through. Rosemary hates its roots sitting in wet. Yeah. And you can feel that. It's quite heavy compared to like what it was before. It does feel
differently, doesn't it?
Yeah. So we've got our lined basket. Yeah. So we're going to fill that in and just do more of the same and plant it. So yeah. Right.
It is interesting to, see how it compares, the way that you're planting up these different things.
This is it, and this is why we're
have to take that into consideration.
You do, and this is the great thing about containers again, is that we're making individual potting mixes for our individual plants. So they're all going to be happy, but we are displaying them side by side.
So they're tailor-made, aren't they?
Exactly, that's it. Yeah. Right, here it is. Smell that.
Oh, don't, it's just
divine.
I know, wow.
There we are, right. Wish I could say I'd grown them some cuttings, but yeah, they're from the garden centre as well. So the same thing again, if we just fill in around there.
So centre of the pot.
Centre of the pot, this will just grow into a kind of decent sort of shrub like that.
How exciting. Should I kill this down?
That's great, yeah, thank you, and I'll feed in.
Got just enough left.
Ta-da! I think we should be pretty pleased with that.
Honestly, it looks fantastic. I just love the way also that they're slightly different heights.
Yeah, that's it. You get the real sort of stepped height here as well.
Yeah, it just makes it more interesting. Just everything about it looks great. And also the surface of the soils are different.
Definitely, yeah. And all you need to do is just water them when they kind of, obviously when they need it. And we're going to give everything a good drink at the end in one go. But just to say, the way to test whether things need watering is just pop a finger down to where the roots are an inch or two deep. And if it's sort of cool and moist, then you know it doesn't need watering. And obviously if it's dry, then it does. Yeah. There's nothing more satisfying than popping out into the garden for a fresh salad, and you've got to love your leafy greens. So I've got some beautiful spinach here, grown by yours truly from seed.
Do you know my favourite?
Excellent, it's so versatile. Yeah. And then we've got 2 types of lettuce. Yep. This is a lovely kind of shocking green chartreuse, oak leaf lettuce. And then here, this gorgeous red leaf. And what we're going to do is plant them in a sort of checkerboard, so you get a nice contrast of leaf colours. So what I'm going to do, we're going to plant 4 lettuce in here, and the 4 plugs of our spinach in here. Okay. Before we start, just because I've got it, may as well just add in a bit more of that sweet smelling chicken manure.
I know what this is now.
Yeah, you do. I just kind of.
If anybody asks me.
Yeah. So why does it smell? Hopefully that won't put you off your salad, but the smell dies down once it's kind of mixed in.
Ben, I have a salad every morning.
Do you?
I take it into the galleries, and so the thought of like being able to come out. And
nice. Oh, great!
This delicious salad.
I'm so pleased.
Take it to work. It's just going to be really exciting.
Give me the business
Best bit.
Okay, so let's we'll do 4 in here. We're not obviously going to plant all of these. So if I pass you 2, and you could just plant them opposite each other. Okay. And leave about that's it, perfect. And and the other one kind of there. Yeah. And just dig a little hole with your hand, and pop it in. That's it. Great. And then
they look tasty already, don't they?
They do, don't they? Yeah. These looking a bit like sorry for themselves because the we've got Rosie here today, and she's kind of caused havoc when we first got here, knocking things over, but she's settled in now. That one can go opposite.
And the size of the container, this is about the right size?
Yeah, that's about right. That's about the right spacing. Actually, let me tell you about this, because we've got quite shallow containers here.
Yeah.
These are quite shallow-rooted crops, so we could put them in a taller container, but we'd be essentially wasting the bottom of the mix.
Yeah.
So these are perfect for these kind of like shallower-rooted crops.
Really nice shape to them.
That's it. So we'll do the same thing, one in each corner of the pot. I'm not sure round pots have corners, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, the sides.
Oh, beautiful. These are stunning little plants. That's it, good job.
Well, spinach is so great because, I mean, I love cooking with it. I love just eating it raw.
Yeah, that's it. It's one of those plants you can have in salads or...
And it keeps coming.
It keeps coming, exactly, yeah. And that's that's a really good point, actually. With these, some plants you harvest the whole lot, but with these, when you want to harvest, you just literally click off one or two leaves from each plant. And as long as the central crown, the bit in the middle's left, it'll produce more leaves. Going. So it's one of those, pick a few from each plant, move on, come back a few days later.
Yeah.
There we go. Now, a lot of these kind of salads will eventually bolt, which means they flower, and then they're no good. So what we'll probably get you doing in another month or two is sowing some more to follow on. So, but in the meantime, these are planted. We'll give them a drink shortly, but let's get these over there. We've got our fruiting vegetables now. So what I've chosen for you, there are two types of tomato. One's determinate, which means it's sort of like a bush tomato, it just forms a bush. The other one is the vining ones you see. So we've got a bush one that's perfect for a pot here. This is a cherry tomato.
Okay, delicious. And
that will just kind of, we might put a little cane in there to support it, but other than that, we're good. And then these are marigolds. So these flower, they'll add a splash of colour, and they'll also help to bring in pest predators, which will feed on any pests. They'll have hoverflies and things around the flowers. So,
do you know, I've never thought about being able to grow tomato outside. I always think that I'm growing them in greenhouse.
You have to choose your variety, actually. So you've got to look for an outdoor tomato. So you are right about that. They're often best indoors. And it's ideal, if you can, to choose a blight-resistant tomato. So sometimes they get this horrible disease and they collapse. And if you can get a blight-resistant one, it's less likely to sort of collapse.
And will that have that information on the label?
It will, yeah. So most garden centres, they'll have little labels explaining it, or you can, you know, go on your phone and just double check. So what I'm going to do, these are the seedling leaves here, so they're not important. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bury it deeper than you might imagine. So you might think, oh my gosh, I'm sort of drowning it here, but what that does is along the stem it'll produce new roots, and tomatoes are very peculiar like that. You can set them a lot deeper, so they'll have more access to nutrients and moisture now, and it creates a stockier plant.
This is really enlightening, because I've never grown tomatoes.
Oh right.
And you know,
you're in for a treat, Sharon. You really are.
I've always felt that I needed a greenhouse in order to do that. So this is like a new dawn.
Exactly. I think you keep these in a sunny spot, and we should get plenty of tomatoes. I was going to put in, probably can just put 2 in here, because it looks a bit mean at the moment, but we don't want to get sort of over kind of crowded. So
this is a really good tip regarding the marigold then.
This is what's called companion planting. So you've got these flowering, bringing a benefit to the tomato, which in this case is pest control, and of course a splash of colour. So we've got that. I think orange flowers should go quite well with our Mediterranean blue. Exactly,
Love it. So Ben, what are you adding in here now?
Okay,
This is different.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got like the same compost or potting mix underneath, but this stuff here, it's what's called coir or coconut fibre.
Ooh.
And it's, you know, like coconuts, you've got all the hairy bits on the outside. This is what it is. And the reason I'm adding it to our potting mix is it's going to really help open it out and create a nice light mix, which for peppers or chili peppers, they really love that. So
it's sort of aerating it.
Exactly, yeah. You've done this before, clearly. And then this isn't essential, but I had this pot of what's called perlite. It's really light stuff. So I'm going to just add that in as well as a sort of belts and braces. It's the same kind of thing as the coir. It'll just help open it out. So we're going to just mix this up. Can I leave you to do that? And I'm just going to...
So it's going to make it even more fluffy.
Exactly, fluffy, free draining, and a a bit like our rosemary planted earlier.
Yeah.
They really love that kind of free draining mix, but they like it light in this case, and this is just the ticket really.
Well, this feels very exotic planting.
Yeah. Well, this really does need
pepper.
the sunniest spot.
Yeah.
What I've done here is I picked a variety that isn't very, very spicy, because the milder chili peppers tend to mature sooner and cope better with kind of less than perfect weather.
Yeah.
So don't go for the super hot ones if you want.
So this is less sophisticated.
It's less sophisticated, but it's going to be a lot easier. And unless you want something that's going to blast your head off, it's probably a wiser choice anyway. So yeah, brilliant. That's all mixed up.
Terrific.
So let's get it in our. I've gone for a galvanised bucket. I've drilled holes in the bottom for drainage. Anything you use must have drainage holes so the water can get out. So we're going to, again, fill it up.
So like the rosemary, it just likes the sunnier
That's right, yeah. So the rosemary, the tomato here, the chili pepper, they all love the sunshine. And then the salad leaves and the herbs, they can cope with dappled shade and... and you can always move things around. If you find something suffering because it's too hot here, you can just put it underneath.
I mean, that's why it's so terrific to do it this way.
Exactly,
So I will arrange them kind of together.
Exactly, yeah. Arrange them together to start. This is a lovely time of year.
Arranging.
Arranging. This is your artistic flair coming out, Sharon. Exactly. And actually, you know, this kind of early to mid-spring is a lovely time of year because it's very forgiving and everything can grow together. Nothing's too hot. Right, Sharon, you pop that in for me. Good job.
Okay, so...
That's all right, don't worry, it's there.
So I'm going to...
More resilient than there we are.
Down.
The same level, that's it, perfect. And then just feed it around. Now that looks really puny in there, I will admit, but like literally give it 2 or 3 weeks once the weather warms up and it'll bush out nicely. And actually this pot here will attract the heat, but that'll really help at this cooler part of the year because it'll help to warm the roots basically.
Right, to get it going.
That's it, yeah, exactly.
So how am I going to look after this little beauty?
Yeah, good question. So again, do your usual thing, finger in there, check every now and then.
Yeah.
This needs to be on the drier side, so there's no harm if it starts wilting. Don't overwater it, that's important.
Right, that's
and then
key.
I've got something here for you, a little present. It's not champagne or anything, it is tomato feed.
Okay, thank you.
Follow the instructions. These will be watered maybe once every 2 weeks with this as a dilute solution, and that'll give it the nutrients it needs because there's only so much in the way of nutrients in the potting mix. So this will replace that.
So every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks. It encourages flower production and gives them the oomph and energy to produce fruits. And that's it really. Just make sure they're in the warm.
Yeah.
It's still a bit chilly at night, so I'm going to give you some row cover or horticultural fleece to pop over them at night when it gets a bit lower. But really in another 2 or 3 weeks you'll be fine. But that'll just help keep them cosy.
Fantastic.
Great.
Hey.
Right. It's taking shape now, isn't it?
Yeah, look.
Oh. Hello, Rosie. Come on.
So nice.
Expecting our work. So, this is the favourite bit, I reckon, strawberries.
Honestly, it looks great. Ben, I have to say this is the most original use of an old apple box I have seen.
It kind of, it's rustic and a bit rough around the edges, but I think it kind of goes, doesn't it?
It looks so good with this crop.
Yeah, and all I've done is I've lined it again with that weed membrane again, cut it to size, filled it with our potting mix, and now we're going to plant. I've got 2 types here, Cambridge Favourite and El Santa. They're really popular. The more varieties you can have, the more of a spread of a harvest you'll get because they'll fruit at different times.
What's the difference?
Well, El Santa's really sweet and juicy. They're both really reliable croppers, so they're kind of like winners really, but they'll crop at slightly different times. That's the main difference.
That's a very good difference.
You spread your harvest a bit, yeah. So
Brilliant.
if I do these guys here, and you plant those 2 here, we're going to plonk them in corners like that, and then just sort of get them in really.
Evenly spaced.
That's it, yeah. So just kind of in the corners like that. Now strawberries need planting at the sort of same depth as before.
So we're going down.
We're going down and make sure that the leaves where they come up are sitting just at soil level.
So like that?
That's
Is
perfect.
that right?
Well done. Yeah, lovely stuff.
So
beautiful.
I'm getting more confident now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I'll just move that a little bit away. There we are. Perfect.
It is amazing. And I think, you know, for sort of a novice vegetable fruit gardener like myself, it is confidence.
It's
just those simple things of, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing.
And the thing is, once you realise, you get your confidence and you try a few and you realise they're not going to die and they're a bit more robust than you imagined, you get that confidence. And I think as a new gardener, that's the most important thing, is starting small, finding your feet and just sort of understanding the feel of it all. There we go. And I promise you, another 2 months they'll be kind of bulking out, and you may well get fruits this summer. So they're going to crop quite quickly.
Well, I'm going to keep a very eagle eye.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you will. And it's the same with tomatoes, actually. These guys, that little red liquid feed, the tomato feed, actually is good for any fruiting plant. So these will be good for strawberries as well. So
again, same sort of 2 week interval.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So there we go. Right. So we've got all our pots planted now. We'll get this one over there, and then we'll do some sowing. Right.
Okay.
Right. Gosh. Sharon, what time is it now? It's sow time. Sorry, terrible dad joke. Right, we got 3 little beauties for you. We've got this beautiful, colourful chard. Yep. It's a bit like spinach, but it's longer lasting, and sowing this now should last right through to the autumn and perhaps into the winter. I've got a salad variety of carrot, which does well in containers, and this beautiful dwarf or bush bean. Nice. Lovely fine bean that's going to be gorgeous.
My favourite.
And here's, just to show you, these are carrots that I prepared earlier. So these were sown late winter. And we're going to sow them in here, so you get really lovely filigree foliage as well.
Nice, yeah,
and
lovely.
Well, you know what carrot foliage looks like.
And how tall will they get
to? Well, probably foliage will get to here.
Okay.
And this salad variety, in terms of the roots, are probably just below the depth of the pot. So we want a pot that's deep enough, obviously. Yeah. So let's start with our bush beans here. I'm going to pop some seeds into your hand, and you're going to be the sow master.
I'm going to be the instigator.
So, exactly. So we're going to sow them like the 5 of a dice. So kind of like 1 in each corner there, and then 1 in the middle. And actually, so just a centimetre or half an inch deep with your finger, and then put in 2 seeds.
2, I was going to ask you that. Okay.
Yeah. Cool,
right, let's go. There's a technique to this, definitely.
That's it, yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. You got it. Now, if we get 2 seedlings coming up in each position, which is quite likely, we might just remove the kind of the smallest one once they both germinate. So you'll still have 5 bean plants in here. But by sowing seeds, because they're quite cheap, then it just means that if one doesn't germinate, you're fine. And the great thing about seeds is obviously you can fold them up and use them again. So
I was going to say the longevity of, do they expire?
Yeah, they do. It depends. Some last for a year, some last for 3 or 4 years.
Oh my
so
goodness.
you've got like a sow by date, just like you have a use by date for your whatever,
So I can come back to them.
Exactly.
Next time round.
Next year, exactly. So next, Sharon, we've got carrot seeds. So they're going to go in here. So if you, again, hold out your hand, pour them into that one there.
To see what these look like.
So they're pretty small, as you can see. So the trick with these, a bit different, we're going to take little pinches and just take a pinch and just spread it really thinly over the surface like that.
Fine sewing.
That's it.
So quite different from the beans.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And then what we're going to do is I'm do a little sort of like I'm sprinkling sort of pepper or something over my cooking here, just so the seeds go out of sight, basically.
Yeah.
You just need to cover them over with just a slight bit like that.
Yeah.
And that's it, that'll do. So we'll give that a water in a sec.
So that's carrots, great.
That's carrots, and the final one, I love, these are my favourite seeds actually. They're kind of really knobbly, kind of got character. They're sort of a...
So are the stems of this chard really the colour?
Yeah, they are. So this is called rainbow chard for obvious reasons, different colours. And you get these lovely shocks, and when they're backlit with the sun here, you look at them and they'll just glow in the light. They're just majestic.
Mother Nature.
Mother Nature comes up with some beautiful things. Yeah. So again, we're going to do 4 here. So I'll just maybe make the holes for you here. And if you just pop in 2 seeds again.
Yep. Okay.
And what we'll do is, if we get 2 seedlings, we could probably leave them, to be honest with you, because there's enough room in this pot. And you'll probably harvest them initially as sort of smaller little leaves, but you get these lovely, beautiful midribs, which are the colourful bits, and you can cook those as well. Yeah. Kind of like
how fantastic.
Like a leafy asparagus.
And when can I expect to see this crop of chard?
Yeah, well, I reckon the seedlings will be up certainly within about 10-12 days.
Really?
And then they'll take a bit of time. So I reckon you'll be picking them maybe in 2.5-3 months. So yeah, but by which time your spinach will probably be over, so it's a nice sort of segue.
My gosh.
And this is like what we call follow-on or succession cropping, so you're
clever,
keeping
isn't
it going.
It's really clever, yeah.
But I'll leave these seeds with you.
Fantastic.
So we're just going to pop these down with the rest of them now, give everything a water, and then I think they're done then.
Exciting.
Yeah. Right, Sharon, we're all done. Just going to give everything a good drink now.
No, look at us.
What do you reckon?
Oh, I'm thrilled, honestly. I have really, really enjoyed it.
I've loved being here. Thank you so much for letting us, interfere with your garden. Obviously, you're my neighbour and you can come and ask me questions anytime, but we've also got how-to videos on growing all of these, and I'll link to them down below. And in fact, if you'd like more ideas for growing in containers, then do check out this video next. Happy gardening, and we'll catch you next time.